We're road tripping Eastern Europe for 30 days, driving over 4,000 miles to see the best the Balkans has to offer. So, let's get on with today's video. What's up NTV? Come check out my crib. So unlike last year, we've got a big spacious camper van. In it, we've got two fully turnable chairs. We've got ourselves a cooktop here, 2 burners, gas, a nice little sink to do our washing. We've got another bed here, is where we keep the food. We've got cereals and breads. And right in this cupboard, we've got snacks and nuts, which are also snacks. And then here we've got a fridge, a half fridge, unlike the other camper van. We've got this filled out. We've just been and done some shopping. Behind me, the master bed. Oh, glorious. Now that I've given you a tour of the camper van, I'm going to send you back in time to this morning where we've done some sightseeing of Sofia. First thing we're doing is we're visiting the Red Flat, which is an old communist era flat that shows you how people lived during the Cold War in Bulgaria. The Red Flat takes you back in time to the 80s, giving you a chance to see what life was like for the average Bulgarian during the Cold War. You'll get to see what a family home looked like and listen to over 40 real life stories. One of the cool things I found out is that citizens were awarded state medals for service done within their communities. Jack just found a newspaper from the 50s that showed Bulgarian propaganda against the United States, which is true, but it's used to paint the United States in a bad light. You've got pictures in the newspaper of white-only parking and white-only laundrettes. It's quite interesting listening to the stories because it's half painted as like bad times, I feel, but then a lot of the stuff in it seems like it's quite good, like how everyone had similar living conditions. Everyone eventually upgraded their living conditions, no matter what field you worked in or how much money you got paid. Some people would get maybe colour TVs first, but eventually everyone would get them. So it was just your working conditions, the better your job, the quicker you got things, but eventually everyone caught up and was quite equal. So I just got to the final story and it actually flipped what I just said on its head. The Socialist Party at the end allowed capitalist reform, and the dad in the story lost his job, lost all his savings, and the kid was struggling to go to university. He had to remain at home to go to university. He couldn't afford to move abroad. The Red Flat was actually quite good. It had 46 stories, audio stories, and it lasted for over an hour, so definitely get your money's worth. One of the interesting points in the Red Flat story is that I said they used to get between 2 and 4 weeks paid vacation, and it's just interesting because that was back in like the 80s, and America get about 10 days maximum paid vacation now in 2024. So the propaganda against it is quite crazy in some respects. Sticking with the Soviet theme, which will probably be a massive theme throughout this road trip series because it's Eastern Europe, behind me is a monument to the Soviet Union. It's a monument to represent the liberation of Bulgaria from the Nazis during World War II. But as you can see, it's got scaffolding all over it because the top monument is actually being removed and placed into a museum, as they done a vote in Sofia and 30% of the people wanted it removed, 30% wanted it put in a museum, 30% wanted it to stay, and then 10% just didn't care. So now it's in a museum.
It's a disgrace.
Why?
I mean, you can separate the working class soldiers who died in another country from the regime that they obviously disagree with. It's disgraceful.
The next stop on our list is the St. Alexander Nevsky Cathedral, which is the biggest cathedral in the Balkans and can hold up to 10,000 people inside. Named after a 13th century prince who later became a saint, St. Alexander Nevsky Cathedral started construction in the 19th century to commemorate those who died during the Russo-Ottoman War. Taking roughly 30 years to build, this wonderful piece of architecture has golden roofs and an interior made of Italian marble decorated with chandeliers. Now that we've done a little bit of sightseeing, it's time to try some Bulgarian food, and this is a banitsa, which is a bit like a burek that I had in Albania. It's thin pastry, rolled up and filled with things like mushrooms, rice, tomatoes, onion, anything really. I think you can get it with cheese and meat. It's like a big pasty. Let's give it a try. I don't think it's as good as the burek from Albania, but it's definitely better than the spinach one I had. To be honest, it's a little bit mushy on the inside, and it's not hot, it's cold. I don't know if they normally serve it cold, but where I bought it from, it was served cold, so it's cold rice and mushroom. We found a campsite about an hour outside of Sofia, and we're parking here for the night, and then tomorrow we're going to head off into the north part of Bulgaria. But right now we're just cooking our tea, and one of the perks of having a big van like this is we don't have to cook outside like we did the entire time in America, because we've got a nice little cooker on the inside. Although the guy did give us an outdoor like stove and some like camping stuff, so if we wanted to we can cook outside. Jack shouted at me. I brought the American football from America. For, oh, Jack, I love this, and he's shouting at me for bringing it. You know who will love it? Anthony. Me and Anthony play with this every single day. We're gonna go to sleep and we'll see you in the morning. We're off to some caves in the eastern part of Bulgaria, and it's Jack's first time driving. How do you feel?
It's like riding a bike, except it's a van.
A bit bigger than a bike, like. But I drove yesterday for like about an hour, hour and a half, and it wasn't great coming out of Sofia because it's like such like a tight city. The roads are quite narrow in places. Luckily, this should just be all motorway until we get to where we're going. Jack's currently driving on the left side of the road though.
Oh yeah! Wow.
So we've been walking for about 15-20 minutes and we have no idea where we're going. We found the cave. Technically, it's down here, but we just have no idea at all how we actually get down into the cave. And I think we're going the wrong way because we're starting to walk through shrubbery. It definitely isn't a path. So we're going to have to turn around and go back to the road and try and find a different way. We found the right way to go to the cave. It was in a massive car park that you can park to actually go to the cave, and we just missed it. We've got ourselves a little pet along the way, a little mountain dog. Over here. This cave is absolutely massive, and I think it's the biggest cave I've been in. It's bigger than Falls Cave in the UK, much bigger than the cave in Vietnam. And it is actually the longest cave in Bulgaria. It's the longest end-to-end open cave in Bulgaria anyway, at like 250 meters in length, and you can go through one end and come out the other. Fun fact about this cave, its nickname is the God's Eye Cave, and I'll show you why now. These two holes in the ceiling of the cave look like eyes, and that's why it's nicknamed the God's Eye. We've made it to the other entrance of the cave, and the name Prahodna, the name of the cave, means through fair cave or passage cave in Bulgarian, and it's a nod to the fact that you can go through one side of the cave and come out the other. We've left the cave now and we're just walking down a random wooded path. I have no idea where it goes. I think maybe to a river, and I've given Jack a GoPro, so that's going to be a disaster in one of two ways. The stuff he records is going to be questionable, or he loses it because he loses everything. So it's going to be one or the other.
Dog just had a shit in a cave. Massive shit. It's actually up there. Talking about me recording things, saying it's going to be questionable. Well, I think we'd all agree that if I had the YouTube channel, I'd have about 10 times the subscribers he has, which would be like 10.
The path actually brought us to a second cave, nowhere near as big as the other one, but it's probably about the size of Falls Cave in the UK, and it stops right here. There's actually evidence that humans lived in these caves during the Neolithic period. There's quite a few activities you can do in this cave. You can do some rock climbing on the walls of the cave. We were just watching it then, but we couldn't do it because it's like a group tour thing. And then they do bungee jumping at this entrance of the cave, but there's none here today. But we did read online that you can do it. Proper sweating here. It's 31 degrees today, and it's just so hot. I feel like it's hotter than most of the places we went to in America, except maybe like Nevada and Utah. But it's meant to get up to 35 by Friday. The final thing we're going to be doing today is a national park. The national park is called the Murata National Park, and we're doing a waterfall trail that the guy at the camper van place we stayed at last night recommended, called Krishuna Falls. So hopefully we can get to swim in it and cool down, because it has been a sweaty day. So we've got our first waterfall along the trail, which is called, I have no idea how to say that, Balkan or something, no idea. The system of waterfalls itself is called the Krishuna Falls. So there's like 2 or 3 waterfalls I think, and this is the first one. We go around clockwise or anti-clockwise, it's up to you. And this, I believe, is the best of all the waterfalls along the trail. Unfortunately we can't swim in this one. I don't know if we can swim in any of them. I thought if any of them we'd be able to swim in this one, but now I'm doubting it. We've just passed our second waterfall, which looked like you could swim in it because it wasn't cordoned off. There was no barrier, but then on the other end of the bridge there was a no swimming sign. So we don't know if that applies to just the bit below the bridge, or if it applies to that bit and then the next part. I have no idea, but there was no one in it, so I assume you can't swim in it. We can literally see where we started over there, and we've been walking for like 10 minutes, which means this entire like waterfalls trail is like 20 minutes maximum, luckily. I mean, it costs like nothing to get in here. It costs what, like £6 for 2 adults and a van, so it's not that bad. If you just want to come and have a nice little walk and chill, then there's loads of benches and places that you can chill along the way, have a picnic or whatever. Never mind, it isn't as short as I thought it was. We've just found another trail leading to the mysterious waterfall, but we have to climb up this steep hill to get there, and it is still quite warm even though it's like 7 o'clock in the evening. Dog girl, making me miss my dog. There's stray dogs all over the place in Bulgaria, like especially in like the natural parks and stuff like that. Like at the cave before there was 2 stray dogs, and now here at this national park there's another stray dog, and they're so friendly. And when you're driving now, like the motorways and the highways and stuff, and through little towns, you just see them all over the place. We've made it to what I think is the mysterious waterfall behind me. We followed the path the entire way, and we've come here, which is now a dead end, so we have to go back to where we came from. So I assume this is the mysterious waterfall, but there was also something called the waterfall cave, and this sort of looks like a waterfall cave, so I have no idea. I'm inside this cave now. This is definitely the cave waterfall, because it can't be anything else other than that. It is literally a little cave, and I got quite wet coming through the little rain shower there. I also nearly slipped, which would have been very bad. But you know, the water here, nice and cooling, because it's proper humid. Coming under into the waterfall, you do get quite wet by like the stream of water, which is quite nice because it's very warm still. So it is nice and cooling, but I have got my drone in my backpack, so I don't want to get too wet because I don't want my drone to get broken. So I'm gonna get out now because I'm still getting wet from like the water dripping from the roof of the cave. We've just passed that sign again, and it definitely said that that is the mysterious waterfall. So we seen one earlier that might have been the cave waterfall. I'll show you it now, but it wasn't really a waterfall. It was just like a little bit of a stream coming out of the cave. So no idea, but we're gonna head back to the car park now and get in the van. After doing a hike, we've been driving for like 2 hours or something like that, and we were headed toward the campsite, but we just got tired of driving, so we pulled over in like some mad country lane. We don't even know if it's legal to like sleep on the side of the road here, but I'm gonna show you where we are. Need to get outside. Right, so you can see me. I don't know what's me like. Obviously you can't see anything in the road, but the van is here. I'm going to turn this light off and see if you can see the stars. I don't know what the stars come across on the camera like. I didn't really see much, but like in real life they're so good. It's so dark here. So this is where we stayed last night, literally in the middle of nowhere in this little country lane, which has been quite good to be fair, because it was quiet most of the night. We have had some like cars going past the past like hour. It's 7:30 now, but for most of the night it's been quiet and we've not been disturbed at all. We need to pack up the caravan now and get going to our first place this morning. We've now come to the place that the guy at the campsite recommended to us. It is the Atar Museum, which is a full village-sized museum. It's how they used to live back in the 19th century here in Bulgaria, using water mills and water power to power the village. This village is less of like a museum and more of a reenactment of how the village used to run, as a lot of the shops are still active today. You have places like the blacksmith still making knives, which you can buy. You have a bakery and sweet shop, I think, where you can buy products from. There are also over 50 buildings in this village, so there's plenty of things to see whilst you're here. You can even book classes to learn how to do some traditional craft work. However, this does need to be booked a week in advance, which is why we're not doing any right now. The clothes that they wore behind me, and they look alright to be honest, but what is like standing out to me is where the baby slept. That looks so comfy, being in like a little hammock. The hammocks are so comfy anyway, as they are. One of the impressive things about these buildings is how they're still standing like 200 years later. I always find that mad with old buildings is that they're built so much better than today, with modern new builds not really being built to last over 100 years. Also, water mills are very interesting. Coming from an engineering background, it's just the prehistoric version of the modern motor. You use a river going downstream and use the gravity and the weight of the water to hit a wheel and turn the wheel, and you could use that to turn things, to grind flour up. And these have existed for thousands of years, all the way back to like the Romans and Greeks, and probably even before then. But of course now they're being replaced with the motor, which burns petrol and then it turns into a gas, which then turns a turbine. They even use water wheels to cut logs by forcing the water through like a pyramid shaped box that would put a lot of pressure onto the wheel. Wheel would turn and it would turn like a gear, and the gear would be connected to the saw, which would bounce up and down, and they'd be able to cut the logs in half. I find this so crazy how ingenuitive humans are, that we're able to harness the power of like the world and use it to power things for ourselves, and we haven't even scraped the surface of what's possible, because like we'll eventually be able to harness like the full power of our galaxy, and maybe even the universe, but I doubt that's possible. But you know, our solar system, our sun, our galaxy, that's definitely possible at some stage. But it was so peaceful living in a village like this like 200 years ago. Everyone knew each other, it was quiet, probably not a lot of trouble. You were skilled in the profession that you were doing, and you didn't really have much to worry about. We've finished in the ethno village now, and we've got one more stop before we head to the border of Serbia. Our final point of interest in Bulgaria before we head to the border is a massive communist building that was built right on top of that mountain there. This is one of the sickest buildings I've ever been to. Just look at it behind me, like a spaceship. Like, it is huge, built on this mountain with this incredible view overlooking the Bulgarian countryside. What do you think, Jack?
Very spherical.
Apparently on the inside, it's like, it's got mosaics on the inside and it's meant to be really nice on the inside, like, but we're not really meant to go in. The Buzz Lutzer started construction in 1974 and wasn't complete until 1981, but the communist government here fell in 1989. This building behind us cost $35 million to build, and a lot of the locals in the area actually volunteered to help build this. That is part of the reason why it was free for everyone in the area and probably in the country to come and visit this building, because one, it used the tax money from the local people, well, from the Bulgarian people, and it also used a lot of the labour from the local people, who a lot volunteered for free just because they wanted to help the community. And look at it, look how amazing this is so cool. It's one of those things that are just so unnecessary to build, it's so wacky, but it's part of like the human, like a part of being human is having the imagination to just come up with ideas like this. Also, apparently when foreign diplomats used to come to Bulgaria, they used to be brought here as like a place to show off. There's absolutely no chance you can get in there, it's all barred up and locked. But another interesting fact about this building is that when they were building it, they had to level this mountain peak, so they had to use TNT to blow it up, and it knocked about 10 meters off the total height of the peak. The Balutzer monument really is a testament to the weird and wonderful parts of the communist era throughout Europe, because just look at this monument behind me. We've been driving for a few hours now, and we pulled over in a little just to make some food because we've not eaten since, I don't know, like 3 o'clock or something like that. We're on the way to the border of Serbia and we're about an hour away, but I'm going to show you our cooking setup. We've got Jack cutting all the veggies on the table. He's slacking, just watching TikTok.
It's done.
And then we've got a little fryer here, frying some nuggets. We're gonna be having some wraps, I think, some like spicy wraps. So I'll show you what it's like when they're done, I guess, and then we'll head to the border. Here's the finished product. We've got 3 wraps each. They aren't very big, to be honest with you. Jack didn't really cut enough to fill them out. We were meant to have 2 left over, but they look good. I'll pick them up. Got no rice or anything in. They are a bit.
I don't need
a bit thingy. A bit like empty on the inside, but I'm sure they'll be good. We made it to the border and it's actually very busy. The guy told us to always cross at night because in the day it is extremely busy, and this is how busy it is now. The window's a little bit dirty, but it's proper busy, so I can't imagine how bad it is during the day. I reckon we'll be in this queue for about 10-15 minutes. This is wild. People are just getting out the cars and walking around. Like this guy here, he was driving with his door open before and there's like people in the middle there. People are just walking around everywhere. This guy's sorting his booth out whilst we're just queuing up waiting. This is mad. I've never been across a border in Europe before. I'm like a land border, so this is the first. In America, when we crossed into Canada, we literally went through like 5 minutes, didn't we, if that. Hi. We're officially in Serbia after sleeping on some random road last night. This was our view though this morning, waking up, which is heavy. And we're now heading into the local city or town, don't know what it's called, to go to like a supermarket. Jack's just absolutely nearly killed us in this little town. He's driven on the wrong side of the road twice now on this trip, and just then he went round the roundabout the wrong way and I had to slam on as I shouted him, and the car in front started laughing at us as we had to reverse backwards out of the roundabout to then go the right way.
Sometimes you gotta live life on the edge.
I'm not sure that's how that works. Like, we're currently on our way to this and we're just driving down one of the most incredible roads ever. It's literally going through the mountains. There's tunnel after tunnel. Wow. The actual mountain itself. Jack has brought us to this, didn't tell us what we were doing, just drove here and pulled up at a concentration camp. So that's what we're doing now. We're doing all like the morbid stuff with Jack. We're doing a concentration camp and then we're doing a tower full of skulls somewhere else in the city. Not sure how much I'm going to be able to film here, so I've got you on the GoPro and we'll just see if I can get bits and do a voiceover. On the 6th of April 1941, Axis forces invaded the then Yugoslavia, demolishing their defences, and by the 12th of April, Belgrade had fell and Yugoslavia succumbed to occupation. This allowed the Nazis to set up Nis as a transit camp, but with resistance growing, this quickly became a concentration camp for political prisoners, Jews and Roma. Over the next 3 years, up to 35,000 people would be brutally imprisoned within the camp and subjected to inhumane conditions, usually forced to work 12 hours a day on as little as 1,300 calories while sleeping in cramped conditions on nothing but hay. These torturous living conditions, along with executions, led to around 10,000 people dying inside the camp, with many more dying in other camps after being transferred. It's always disturbing when you come to places like this, just how evil humanity can be. One of the mad things is that there's a school right across from the concentration camp. They must go there on like school lessons all the time, like a little school trip in history lessons, but it's also a little bit dark, isn't it? To have a school right next to a concentration camp. Now we're going to the Skull Tower, which is a tower full of skulls, and it dates back to the 19th century, I think. The first Serbian uprising against Ottoman rule erupted in 1804 after a local revolt. Fast forward 5 years to 1809, thousands of people had been killed to war, and the Serbian commander Stefan Sindelik and his army found themselves surrounded at Cigar Hill. Having killed hundreds of Ottomans, Stefan realised the Ottoman army and its superior number was about to overrun his army. Knowing that capture meant torture, slavery and execution, Stefan shot a barrel of gunpowder, which started a chain reaction of explosions among all the gunpowder supplies at the encampment. This led to the deaths of all the Serbian and Ottoman soldiers on the battlefield. So after this, when all the Serbian freedom fighters were dead and a lot of the Ottoman soldiers, the Ottoman Emperor ordered this skull tower to be made with all the skulls of the Serbian soldiers. Originally, it had 952 skulls encased in this tower behind me, but over time it's deteriorated. A lot of the skulls have gone missing, and now only around 50 remain. Originally, the Ottomans had it made to terrify the Serbians into obedience, but instead it kind of instilled a great honour in the Serbians as monuments of freedom, because it represented the freedom fighters giving up their lives rather than going into Turkish slavery if they were captured. Apparently that's his skull. They don't know for sure by the sounds of it. Jack's just made a good point though. There's no real way of knowing that he shot it and didn't just ignite it. On Wikipedia it says he just ignited the gunpowder, but in this museum over here it says he shot it, but everyone who was there would have been killed. So there's no way of really knowing how he ignited it, but he did, and it blew everyone up. I think we've seen everything we want to see in this, so I think the plan now is we're going to head up towards Belgrade. If we find anything along the way, we'll stop. But apart from that, I'm not too sure. We have to eat some dinner because we haven't had anything yet, and then find something to do. We took a detour on the way to Belgrade and we're staying at a campsite at a national park. And look at the view we've got whilst driving through these mountains and along this lake. And we're about to come across a castle. Look, we brought all the way from America the American football, so we finally get to play some catch. The campsite we're staying at tonight is called the Aston campsite, and Milena, the woman who must own it, is so nice. She's quite funny as well. She came over and brought us lemonade, which is like a lemongrass and mint lemonade, and it's actually quite nice. The campsite is in the Jeddah National Park. I probably butchered that, but it looks like an amazing national park, but it is getting dark now, so you're not going to see anything until tomorrow. And for the first time this trip, we're cooking outside, which is lovely because it gets a bit toasty in the camper van when you've got like the burners on. Even with the windows open, it doesn't really ventilate the heat very well, with it being summer as well.
You're all like Gordon Ramsay, like.
I thought you were purposely making yourself look like an idiot. This is our first proper home cooked meal of the trip, so we're going to eat this pasta and meatballs, and we'll see you in the morning. We've just paid for entry into the Golubak castle, and we've just had to sign a waiver because there was like difficulty levels depending on what tower you wanted to go in. And I was like, well, we're only here once, let's go in the most difficult one, which is the highest peak. And we had to sign a waiver form to say that we take full responsibility if any accidents happen to us. So yeah, that was quite interesting, didn't expect that. What we got ourselves into, there's signs for venomous snakes in the area, and we have to climb like mountain cliff and sign a waiver form to climb it. Like, we're in trouble here. Nice. Jack's already fell on the stairs, the metal stairs. We've just started going up to like the black zone start point, and we have to get a tour guide that'll lead us the whole way up, and Jack's already struggling on normal stairs.
Basically they collect water from the raindrop. On my left side, your right, you can see 1/2 of catapult ball inside this wall.
That's mad.
Oh yeah. And it's a largest one in whole fortress. We have few more down in green zone in tower number 8 and tower number 9. Hungarian King Zsigmond gives 3 huge territories to our king Despot Stefan Lazarevich, and he gives Belgrade, Machva and this fortress here. Unfortunately, in 1427 our king Despot Stefan dies, and 1 year after that, in 1428, Hungarian king requested their territories back. But in that time, fortress fell in hands of Serbian Duke Jeremiah, who tried to sold the fortress to Hungarians. But of course, Zsigmond refused that, and in some kind of revenge, Jeremiah sold the fortress to Turks for 12,000 golden coins. Of course, when Turks came for the fortress for what they paid, Jeremiah refused to give the fortress. So it's like a joke for us. Yeah. It's Serbian thing. So he took the money, and of course after that, when Zsigmond realized he lost this territory here, on the other side where is Romania today, on the top of the hill, Zsigmond built a small fortification, and it's called the Laszlo, and it's built on that position because it's the easiest and fastest way to cross the river and start attacks on this fortress here.
We're at the top now, or nearly at the top now, about to enter into the actual tower. Oh, and there's my hat gone. Nice. Just had an absolute stinker and lost my hat down the mountainside. Hopefully it blows off the other side and falls down there, but there's a lot of trees and bushes, so I highly doubt I see the hat again.
Small parts is authentic, and top of the tower where is the window
is reconstructed.
And, yes,
but this part is authentic.
Yes, it's original. We just how it called? We change.
Oh, like the cement or
yes,
yeah.
Only that.
After being derelict for decades, Golubak Fortress received an €8 million restoration fund from the EU in 2014, allowing it to open its doors to tourists and restoring the castle to its former glory.
The main road goes through the fortress.
Oh, did it?
Yes, if you look from this window down, yes, this road on the left side, that was old main road. You go through the fortress, and trucks and buses extra damaging the fortress. In that time, nobody cares about this site here, and nobody knows that the fortress is gonna be
reconstructed.
Reconstructed, and one of the most visiting touristic place in Serbia.
Oh, is it?
Yes, everybody know where is the Golubak Fortress. So
thanks to talk. What was your name?
Boy.
When? Craig. Nice to meet you.
If anything happened with the
Ha.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay, thank you. That black path wasn't too bad, to be honest with you. Even with a camera, it was still fairly easy to climb, although it is a bit sweaty up there and I did lose my hat. But now we're in another tower on the blue path, which is the second to easiest. I think the black, there was 4 levels, the black was the hardest. It went like green, blue, red, black. Red shut today, so we couldn't do that. But every other tower is now smaller than the tower we've just come from. If you look behind me across the river, you can actually see Romania, because this river, the Danube River, is the border between Serbia and Romania, and the Danube River actually goes through like 10 countries throughout Europe and drains into the Black Sea, making it the second longest river in all of Europe. Comment below what country in Europe the longest river is in.
Golubac Fortress, being built on one of Europe's longest rivers and the border of Romania, allowed it to act as a toll point to collect money from passing ships and people crossing the border. Along with being built into the side of the mountain, this made it a very important defensive stronghold.
The Golubac castle was built sometime in the 14th century, but there's no actual record of who built it, and the first mention of it is by the Hungarians. As you can see from all the flags flying in the castle changed hands multiple times between the Serbs, the Hungarians, the Ottomans. I think even the Luxembourg somehow got this castle at one point. Now that we've done some tour around the castle, I'm going to do some archery. But I don't think Jack wants to do any, so it's just going to be me. We can't have like a little competition between us because he's scared. One red, I think.
3 yellow, 1 red.
Yes. That archery was over very quickly, but I did manage for the centre yellow 3 times and then the red once. You never lose it. I haven't done it for years, but you never lose it. Now though, we are leaving the castle and we're going to head back to the van and we're going to make our way to Belgrade. We've arrived in Belgrade, but we have no idea where we're going or what we're doing. It's like 5:30 now, 5:45. So a lot of the things that Jack wants to do, like the historical stuff, are all closed, and we're sort of just walking along the riverfront now, hoping that we find something to do. We must be in the main part of the city centre now, but we're on our way to go and get some takeaway food, because we're going to go to the fortress and watch the sunset from the fortress whilst having some food. We found a spot to eat on the castle wall. We've got our food. I've got myself some fries and a vegan vegan Philly cheesesteak.
The sunset views from the castle was the perfect place to enjoy some food whilst looking over the city of Belgrade. And in the end, we even got to see some amateur football ultras smoke out a football game with flares.
Now that we've watched the sunset over Belgrade Fortress and had our tea, it's time to head back to the van and find somewhere to sleep tonight, because we have no idea where we're going to be sleeping with us being in a city centre. And the one thing we don't want is to be driving around for hours like we did the night we arrived in Serbia.
We found a campsite just on the outskirts of Belgrade, but it was closed. We couldn't get in. We rang the bell a few times and they didn't answer, so now we're parked in a side street not far from the campsite, next to some parked cars. Hopefully we'll be fine all night. We're gonna get some sleep. We'll see you in the morning.
We're back in Belgrade this morning and we're headed to the House of Flowers, which is where Tito, our old president during the communist era in Serbia, used to live. Quick correction, Jack just corrected me. President of Yugoslavia, not Serbia, because Serbia was obviously a part of Yugoslavia.
But first, who was Joseph Tito? Tito was a working class man a metalworker by trade before being drafted in World War One. Once World War One finished, he joined the Yugoslavia Communist Party, where he quickly rose through the ranks and by World War Two was in control as the party leader. Tito led one of the most successful resistance groups during World War Two, the Partisans of Yugoslavia. As leader, he successfully liberated Yugoslavia from Nazi control and was later named president of the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia.
The first part of the House of Flowers Museum is actually like a gift section of all the gifts that Tito was given from other countries and people throughout his lifetime. Right here you can see he got gifts from Mexico, from Greece. He was gifted this saddle from Algeria, a signed picture of JFK sent as a gift, and all these other leaders, which I think it's a little bit vain, isn't it, sending a signed picture of yourself as a gift. Here's a flag, the Yugoslavia flag, that was taken to the moon by the US and brought back with some moon rocks. Every year for his birthday, he used to get a baton from different places, like the army or maybe neighbouring countries, which is a little bit mad. He must have like hundreds of these throughout his home. Tito seems like quite a popular guy. He has awards from people all around the world, including a medal from Queen Elizabeth, and he has keys to different cities around the world, including LA. This whole museum hallway is like 200 meters long, and it is literally just filled side to side with gifts that was given to Tito from all around the world. Different leaders and different people in different organizations, they all just seem to give him gifts for his birthday and other things. He just seemed like a very popular person. The reason for Tito's popularity was probably more based on political strategy, because he was quite neutral in terms of East and West during the Cold War, as he didn't align with capitalism of the West, as he was a socialist leader, but he also didn't like Stalin, so he didn't really have a good relationship with the USSR, even though they were both socialist states. So the West were always trying to keep him on their side, even though their economies were completely different. Also, the House of Flowers isn't where Tito lived. It was a personal garden made from him just down the road from his actual residence, but it is where he was buried, because it was part of his request when he was dying that he be buried at his personal garden. Tito is buried right behind me in the centre of this mausoleum, and his third wife is actually buried over on the left. You can't see her because of the pillow and the flowers, but he was buried here in 1980. Tito's funeral shows just how popular he was, as it was one of the biggest state funerals in history. It had around 700,000 people present and around 1 billion people tuned in to watch it. Tito's death in 1980 marked the beginning of the end for Yugoslavia, as 10 years later the wars in Yugoslavia started, which brought on a decade of fighting throughout the whole of Yugoslavia. So whatever his reign was like as the Yugoslavia leader, at least it was ruled with stability, as there was no fighting during his reign, as he gave a lot of devolved powers to the separate regions that made up Yugoslavia. Also, a funny story about Tito is that Stalin kept trying to have him assassinated, and he captured a lot of these assassins and sent a letter to Stalin saying, if you don't stop sending assassins to kill me, I'll send one to kill you, and I won't have to send a second. Now that we're finished in the Tito Museum, we are going to head off into the city centre again and go find a cafe, because we didn't find one on the way here. We've come to a cafe in the city centre called Visa, and we've got ourselves some drinks and food. The food's not came yet, but I've got myself an iced coffee, and it looks more like milk. It looks very creamy. Our food came, and I've got myself a nice bowl of noodles with tofu, and Jack's got himself a burger and fries. We've finished in Belgrade now, so we're going to head to the Montenegro border. It's about 4 hours away from Belgrade, so we should get there around 9 PM. Hopefully it won't be too busy and we can find a campsite close by, so we're not driving around for ages like we were when we arrived in Serbia. We stopped at a random town called Slatibor because we've seen a little and we need some food, and there is a fair going on in the town centre, so we're gonna go check it out. Hopefully we don't have to pay to actually get into the fair. The whole reason we came to the fair was to find magnets, and Jack was convinced they wouldn't have any. I'm so glad we found those magnets. We've stopped at so many petrol stations along the way trying to find them, and not found them yet, and then Jack thought we weren't going to get them at the fair, and lo and behold, they were there. Sorry. Right, do you need that for the van? Ciao.
Thank you.
Today we're driving through the small but very mountainous country of Montenegro, and currently we're on our way to Tara Bridge, which spans across the Tara Canyon, which is the deepest canyon in all of Europe. We're on the Tara Bridge right now, and just look at this view behind me into the canyon. It's absolutely incredible. You've got the river down there. The deepest point of the Tara Canyon is around 1,300 meters deep. In comparison, the Grand Canyon is around 1,800 meters, so it's not much shallower than the Grand Canyon. It's actually very touristy on the bridge. There's a lot of people just walking across. When we drove across, we had to drive in the middle of the road because there's so many people. Right now, there's not that many on it. There's also a number of activities you can do in the canyon. You can do rafting in the river, or you can zip line across the canyon. And I did want to zip line, but it's €40 and it's over in like 20 seconds, so I'm not sure it's worth it. The Tara Canyon sits inside the Dermator National Park, I think, or it's right next to it. So we're going to drive now to something called the Black Lake, which is about an hour away from where we are. We've started our short hike to the lake, which is only about half an hour from where we parked. We didn't park at the main entrance, so we parked a little bit up the hill at like a campsite. So I'm not sure how much of a walk you'll have to do from the actual main entrance. The good thing about Montenegro being quite mountainous is that the average altitude is like 1,000 meters above sea level, so it's quite cool here. I'm wearing a long sleeve top and Jack's wearing a half zip, so we can do this hike without getting too sweaty like we have been in Serbia and Bulgaria. We've got our first sight of Black Lake and it looks incredible, the turquoise waters. Look at the mountain behind me too. I believe that's a glacier and the lake is actually filled by runoff from the glacier. We've brought a packed lunch with us, so we're going to just enjoy this whilst looking at this unbelievable view. The Black Lake is actually made up of two lakes. If you look through that little gap there, there's another lake on that side. And during the autumn, the water level rises and it becomes just one lake. But during the summer, you can see that it is just two lakes. We're on our way to a campsite and we've had to get out of the van because this is what we have to go across, this wooden bridge. Jack brought us a different way than the map told us to come. Because the map gave us two options. Well, it gave us two options, and one option looked like the roads are terrible, so Jack brought us this way, and now we've got to trust this old wooden bridge with our life.
I'm going to wait on that side. But it's not.
Jack's decided to wait over on the other side of the bridge. I feel like this bridge is fine. It's reinforced with metal. It's got metal girders underneath the wood, so it should be fine. It's a little bit wobbly, but we'll see how it goes, I guess.
Very good stuff. This could be the end of Explorer Life, hopefully. Apologies if the bridge is strong enough, I know. We all want the same thing here, but it looks pretty strong, so I think we'll have to just put up with them for a little bit longer.
I don't think I can fit through that. So we've got to the end of the bridge and we're actually stuck because this end has like little legs that stick out, little feet, and it looks like it might fit.
Right, just put it off before another car comes.
But the wires, the wheels are probably gonna scrape and maybe get wedged in, so we're gonna reverse back. So I reversed it to the end, but then the wire supports that hold the bridge up were like, I don't know, they were just quite awkwardly placed. So I couldn't really get the angle to get out, so we had to get a Montenegrin guy to come get us out. Well, he was waiting to get across the bridge in his tractor, so he just got us out of it. So we've just drove down the original road we were meant to, and it was perfectly fine. It was 2 lanes wide. It was a little bit bendy, but you know, that's what you get in mountainous roads. Jack tried to big brain it and had a bit of a stinker.
I asked you what road you wanted to go down and you said that road.
You said it looked safer. You said it looked safer,
Oh,
so obviously I
bends.
choose the safer one.
I said there was less bends.
The one good thing about this campsite is we get our own personal river, and we haven't been swimming this entire trip and it is sweaty. So I'm gonna go and get in.
Nice. You know, your arms aren't long enough. You need 2 rakes. Is it cold?
Oh, it's fun.
Is it cold though? I don't ask if it's fun or not.
What do you ask?
Is it cold?
It's not that bad, you know. It's nice and refreshing.
Looks really cold.
It's not that bad, you know. Nice and refreshing. It's really cold.
Fuck off.
It's not that bad. It's nice and refreshing.
Fucking dickhead.
What do you mean?
Fucking cold. It's fucking...
It's lukewarm, innit? Is that not lukewarm? But I was taking the piss because you wouldn't jump in it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, so I had to lie and tell him that it was not that bad.
Fuck me.
But it is rather chilly. But it doesn't half cool you down though. Whoa. We've just had that stray dog chilling with us for like half an hour. Chilling with Jack. Jack was just stroking whilst he's reading his book, and he's just gone off into the night. We don't know if he's a stray dog or not, but we were feeding him, which we probably shouldn't have done too much because we just hang around the campsite if he's a stray dog. But you know, he's a dog, he deserves food. Yo. He's back, the dogs came back. Oh yeah. You're a good boy. Yeah, you are. You're a good boy. Yeah. You're such a good boy. You are. You are. Sleeping next to the river is amazing because you get to wake up to views like this outside the back of your van in the morning, and also we've got company from our little mate that we had last night. One of the best things about camping next to the river is when it gets too hot or when you've been doing a bit of work on your water leak, you can do this to cool down. Freezing. It's colder than yesterday. Now that I've cooled off in the river and nearly drowned myself because I swallowed water while I was trying to talk to you and catch my breath from the cold water, it's time to head to the coast of Montenegro. We've just pulled over on the side of the road and Jack nearly lost a second pair of AirPods. He lost a pair of AirPods last year on the road trip, and then this year his AirPods were in this little groove here. So lucky that they fell into that groove and not out of the van at any point. But whilst I've got you here, you may as well look at how incredible this view is on the lake or harbour of Kotor. I don't know, I think it's a harbour. I think it goes out to the sea. We're walking into Kotor's old town now, and you can see the old city walls that line the mountain. But what would really be the point in having the city walls all the way up the mountain? Because surely no army is going to be able to like invade across the mountainside. Kotor is known as the city of cats because they have so many cats running around the town freely. Just like this one here. Just chilling by the shop door. But there's cats all over the place. The reason that there's so many cats in Kotor is because they were brought in to help with the mice, rat and snake population. And also the name Kotor, the name of the town, actually means cat in Montenegro. We've stopped and treated ourselves to some Italian food whilst we're in the town. Jack's got himself a pizza. And I've got myself this vegetable pasta which looks better than the pasta that we've been making. The town is actually over 2,000 years old. Where? Oh yeah. They look like they might be related. You can get onto the walls as well. But I don't know where, oh, from here. We're up on the city walls now and it's just crazy looking up at the walls being built on the side of the mountain. Like, how do you even build walls on the side of a mountain that last for hundreds of years? Kotor is actually over 2,000 years old. I think the town was founded in the 5th century BC. You know what, so far out of the countries that we've been to, Bulgaria, Serbia and Montenegro, Montenegro is by far the best for its nature. Just driving through this country has been far better than the other two, but that also might be because the roads are also better. We've decided on where we're staying tonight. We've parked up and that is our view for the night. So we're gonna go to sleep and we'll see you in the morning for a national park. Today we're going to Lovsun National Park, which means we're going all the way to the top of that mountain right there. But we aren't hiking it, we're gonna go get a cable car which takes about 10-15 minutes to get to the very top. We're in the cable car setting off up the mountain and we've got our own car just between the two of us. They seem to just like give you it in like where the group that you're in. So it's just us two. Oh, this chair is really creaky. But look at the view back there of the mountains. Oh, we've got some little romantic music playing. So the cable car is the quickest way up this mountain because if we didn't get the cable car we'd have to drive an hour through 30 hairpin turns going up the mountain, but this takes about 10 to 15 minutes to get up and costs 23 euros. 23 euros is a little steep to go up a cable car, but it does save us some time and stops us potentially crashing on some mountain pass somewhere. We're high up enough now that you can actually see the sea behind us. This is the best view we've had so far. We're at the top now hiking to Kotor viewpoint, but I've had a bit of a stinker because I thought the cable car brought us to the Prince Peter Mausoleum, which is the most popular tourist attraction in Lovsun National Park, but it doesn't. This viewpoint is mad because not only can you see the Bay of Kotor, but if you look right over there, the little curved part, I don't know if I'm pointing it out because I can't see the screen, but that is actually Croatia. Although we went up to the wrong part of the mountain, it does mean we now get to enjoy a lemonade at the cafe overlooking this view. We're heading back down now. We're going to go to the fan and head to Croatia. There are a few more things you can do up there. You can go to the amphitheatre, but Jack couldn't be able to walk to it. And there is also a little roller coaster you can go on and a playground for kids if you have any kids. But we are going to head back to the van and head to Croatia. get to the Croatian border, we're having to cross the Bay of Qatar at the narrowest point. So we're currently on a ferry going across the bay. We were originally going to drive around the lake, but the traffic was horrendous, so we decided to come and get the ferry instead. It's only €5 and it takes about 15 minutes to get across. Right. Thank you. We've just arrived in Croatia, and I was going to wait till we get to Dubrovnik to start filming this video, but Jack has just tried to park the van under that shelter there. We've got a huge van and he's just scraped the top of the van, and like the window was open on top, we had to shut it. But if that weren't open, he would have kept going and just hit the rooftop bed at the back and absolutely either ruined the van or ruined the shelter. Anyway, to Dubrovnik.
Dubrovnik was once at the centre of the independent state of Ragusa from the 14th to 19th century, although during this time it was a vassal state of the Hungarian Empire and Ottoman Empire, paying tribute to remain independent. Nevertheless, they had a unique system of rule whereby every month a new leader called a rector would be selected, and they would serve 1 month in office in the palace of the rector. And after this month, they were no longer allowed to serve again for 2 years.
We have arrived in Dubrovnik, but currently we're walking through the narrow streets of the old town. And if you watch Game of Thrones, you'll know this as King's Landing. In front of me are the steps where the shame scene in Game of Thrones was shot, where Cersei Lannister was marched through the streets to King's Landing, starting from the Citadel. Which is there, but it's not because it's CGI.
Shorn of secrets.
Apparently one of the best things to do in the old town is to walk around the entire town along the town walls, but we went to do it and it cost €35 to walk around the town walls. Absolutely scandalous, so we won't be doing that, but we are going to keep walking around the narrow streets to see what we can find. One thing I have done is I bought a hat to replace the one that I've lost, so now I've got a nice souvenir hat from Croatia.
Time of leisure. But I only want to discuss a few matters with...
We've now finished in Dubrovnik and we're going to head towards Split. We're not going to make it there today because it's about 3 hours away. We also don't know where we're going to be staying tonight. We don't know if we're going to stay at a campsite or on the side of the road. The next day. I didn't show you where we slept last night. We just slept in a supermarket car park, which is the first supermarket we've slept in the entire trip. But now we're gonna head to Split. We have arrived in Split and just look at that bay behind me. We drove all the way up the Croatian coast on the way from Dubrovnik, and the Croatian coast has been gorgeous. Today though, the first thing we're going to be doing in Split is going to see Diocletian's Palace.
Diocletian's Palace is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and most popular tourist attraction in Split. But right next to it is the world's oldest cathedral that is still in use today, the Cathedral of St. Domnius, which is over 1400 years old.
Diocletian's Palace was the retirement villa of the old Roman Emperor Diocletian about 1700 years ago. But more recently, it is known as Marine from Game of Thrones. The streets around the palace of Diocletian were filmed to shoot the scenes in the streets of Marine. The dungeon that we're in now under the palace is actually where Daenerys kept her dragons in the TV show. Now that we've seen all the free parts of the palace, we're gonna walk around the rest of Split and try and find somewhere to eat. We've come to get some food and Jack ordered a pippy drink, which the waiter told us is Croatia's version of Fanta, and in the 80s it was proper famous because the advert had a model, Miss Croatia, coming out of the sea with a white top on that was wet and obviously see-through, so everyone used to buy it, but now it's not as popular. Before heading back to the van, I brought you to a viewpoint overlooking Split. Look at that view. Split might be the noisiest city I've ever been to because every tree you walk past just has hundreds of cicadas making the noise that they make, and this goes on throughout the entire city. It's 10 o'clock and we've pulled over in a Tommy's car park and made ourselves a butty for tea. But we've been driving for ages trying to find somewhere to stay, so tomorrow we're just going to have a chill day. We're going to drive up to a campsite and we're going to check in a campsite all day so that we know we have somewhere to stay, and we're going to do some laundry and just chill in the pool. We've been driving down the Croatian coast this morning heading to a campsite, but along the way we seen this little cove and we had to stop. Look at this amazing little cove here. We're going to go for a little bit of a dip because it looks incredible. Also, last night, I forgot to tell you, Jack crashed into a lamppost. So that's like 3 crashes now, I think, from Jack. An electrical box, a lamppost and a parking cover. Bumps. It's not going great, like he's not doing himself justice in these videos.
Apparently needs a van. Apparently needs to drive vans differently to cars.
Yep. Vans have much larger turning circles, I did tell Jack this, but he's Jack, so he thinks you can just turn it like a car.
I'll carry on driving like a car.
We have to be quite careful in this water because there are sea urchins, and sea urchins can sting you, and they are venomous, so they can cause a bad reaction, but they aren't usually fatal. So I'm going to go in with my sliders on and hopefully I don't lose any of my sliders. It's actually quite nice. A little bit chilly when you first get in, but as you get deeper. But it's quite nice. And I think I might lose a slider here though, if I'm not careful. What about you?
I'm always careful.
My feet are floating up because of my sliders. Oh, this water is absolutely lovely. I've got a pair of clog sliders on, and a pair of actual clogs would definitely be better because they have like the little heel strap so they wouldn't come off. It's getting a bit rough here, but look behind me. Look at Jack just sat there reading. And he's got this nice Croatian sea to swim in instead of the cold, sewage-filled waters of England. And he's reading Stephen King, playing a little bit of American football in the water. I'm going to see if I can hold you up whilst we're playing. I doubt it though. Nice. Go on then, can you get it to me? Oh, nearly. This is the life, just chilling next to the Adriatic Sea on a Friday afternoon with nothing else to do except just chill in the sun and paddle in the water. We've just had our dinner here, but we can't stay any longer because we've got some laundry to do, and we've got to find a campsite to stay at tonight to do the laundry. And we also need water in the camper van because our water isn't working again, so we don't know if we've just ran out. So we're gonna get packed up and head to a campsite. We arrived at the campsite now, and it's a fairly good campsite. It did cost, I think, 35 euros or 38 euros for the two of us, which is a bit steep, but we do get a hotel pool. We get this little AstroTurf footy with a basketball net. Now there is a footy, but the footy is a bit flat. This basketball is perfect. I am gonna put you down and see how many I can get in. Probably not many. I have had a lot of goes before filming this and I missed a lot. Fourth time. We've checked out of a campsite and now we're going to head to a national park. We have arrived at Balkan National Park, and the views we've got in front of us already of the mountains are incredible. We have no idea what we're going to be doing in here. There's a few things you can do in this national park. They have caves, waterfalls, and even an underground bunker from the era of the Yugoslavia. But we won't be doing the underground bunker because they've turned it into a nature museum. They haven't kept it how it was. So we'll either be going to a cave or doing a trail that hopefully passes some waterfalls. The hike that we're doing was recommended by one of the rangers, and it's a 4-hour round hike. I think it takes you to the top of the mountain, and at the top there's like a cafe. But this is the most popular, or I don't know, maybe the best route, I'm not too sure. But it is sweaty. It's 33, 34 degrees today. But luckily there's a bit of shade along the trail, and also there's water refill stations along the way. We're about halfway through the hike now, and it's not been too bad. The first maybe 20 minutes were quite steep, but the past like half an hour or so has been fairly flat. So I have a feeling we aren't going to the top of the mountain, we're just going to a viewpoint because we haven't climbed enough elevation to really get to the top of that in the next hour. Balkan National Park only costs 10 euros per person during the high season, whereas the original national park we were going to go to costs 40. But if you come here during the winter or the spring, it will be cheaper. I think we have made it to the finish line. There's a hut here. I'm not sure it is a cafe, but it definitely will sell some things. It's fairly big, to be fair. I'm going to go in and see what there is in there. The end point of this hike was very disappointing, to be honest with you. There's no views. There was a little bit of a river, and the cafe wasn't really a cafe. It had like drinks and stuff, but it had no like food or snacks. Now though, we are going downhill the rest of the way, so it should be a fairly relaxing walk. And about 5 minutes away from the end point there is a really good viewpoint. I will show you that when we get there. This is where the hike should have ended, right here, with the views of the mountains and the canyon below. But I guess they wanted to take us to the hut because we can get refreshments and also they make some money from it. At least we got some good views along the way, and we got a fair bit of exercise because at times it was really tough coming up here in this heat, and we have done no exercise the entire time we've been here, so it was probably worth doing just for some exercise. Thinking about this route, the ranger probably just gave us the easiest route because the easiest route was also probably the most popular, not the one with the best views. But it's not been that bad. We're gonna head back to the van now anyway. I'll see you when we get there. Now that we're back at the van, it's time to head to Croatia's capital, about 4 hours from here, Zagreb. We're still driving now and it's just past midnight. Hey Jack, is that someone hitchhiking? Pull over, let's see, let's pick them up for a ride. Hey, do you need a ride, mate? Do you need a ride? It's a bit late to be out here, isn't it?
Ride, yeah.
Oh, and what are you doing here, mate? Do you want to join us for the next 20 days of our road trip?
Sure. Don't know why this is happening, but yeah.
We've got Anthony for the next 20 days. Welcome aboard our humble abode. It's a bit messy.
Aren't you? Long to explore later on.
8 hours later.
We have made it to Zagreb city centre, but to be honest with you, it's quite dead. It's a Sunday morning and there's not a lot open, so
Sunday morning.
it was Sunday afternoon, so we don't really know what we're going to be doing. To get out the heat, we found an escape room that we're going to be doing, and it's a horror themed escape room. Jack's quite scared, to be honest. He loves horror films, but he said he doesn't really want to do a horror escape room because he thinks they have actors that scare you.
It will be fun, but to be honest, you picked the actually good room to start with.
Okay.
Because it's not too much and you actually have a chance to escape.
It turns out I can't take this in or my phone, so I'm gonna have to leave you here. We just finished an escape room in the old lockup, and we've done the ritual, which was meant to be the scariest one, and we didn't pass. We done about 87% of the escape room, which the guy said is technically a pass. He said anything over 85% to pass, but it doesn't feel like a pass, does it? Really. So we're not going to count it. I couldn't film anything in the escape room, but I managed to get some pictures and videos at the end because he let us. But it was very dark in there, so even if I had this camera in, we wouldn't be able to see. We had to use torches whilst we were in there. After having a flap of wrap and some ice cream, I think it's time for us to head back to the van. We did try and do some other things in Zagreb, like a viewing platform, but it was permanently closed, and the Tesla Museum sounded interesting, but also closed. Sunday is not the best day to visit Zagreb, but now we're going to go back to the van and we're going to head off to Slovenia. Thank you. We've officially left Croatia now and we're in Slovenia. We're just enjoying our burgers and we're going to go to sleep soon. Today we are in Ljubljana, the capital of Slovenia, and first of all we're in Ljubljana Castle. The first exhibit we've come into is proper weird. It's a puppet exhibit and you just got these weird looking scary
Nazis.
puppets. Oh yeah, Nazis.
Red Army.
Which one?
On the right with the gun, holding them up.
Oh yeah.
I would do the exact same thing now, yeah.
The Puppet Museum was a little bit random. It was like in collaboration with the Puppet Theatre, which was founded in 1948, and puppetry seems to be a big part of the culture in Slovenia. But now we're in an art exhibition, which is in another part of the castle, and you can see there's some of the castle's external walls, and we've got boss views of the city from the windows. The photographs in this exhibition have been taken by Jaka Ivancic, who is an award-winning Slovenian photographer who's been included in the National Geographic. This castle has all sorts, and we've just been in a prison because it was a prison in the 19th and 20th century, and now we're in a chapel. We've been in a photography exhibition and we've been in a puppet show. We've now come to the best part of the castle, the tower, where we get a view of the whole of Ljubljana, and it looks incredible. Got the mountains in the background, river flowing through the city.
What are you filming for, bro?
Just some beer. There's also a history museum within the castle, and Slovenia was actually occupied by Germany, Hungary and Italy during World War II. The museum also has an ancient artifacts part, and the oldest artifact that was found in Ljubljana dates back to 200,000 years, and the oldest permanent settlement is around 7,000 years. Ljubljana Castle actually dates back to the 11th century, but it was reconstructed in the 12th century and then remodeled in the 15th century, I believe. We're walking through the Ljubljana Old Town now, and it's actually really pretty. Look at these cobblestone streets, all these old buildings along the side, all different colours. On where what?
Oh, it's nice. By the way.
We're currently on our way to Lake Bled, but because it's so busy we couldn't find any parking, and a lot of the parking places don't allow camper vans. So we've had to park half an hour away and walk in, half an hour by foot. It was 35 degrees. It is proper hot and we're just walking through some little village. We've got to Lake Bled and it's time to get in. It's actually really nice. You can put in. I can't stand up. Fucking more to jump out. This lake's actually so nice. The water's not cold at all. And then you've got views of the island and the church. You've got the castle over there. You've got paragliders in the sky. And you've got boats going by.
Yeah, how come you can't touch the floor like that?
Yeah. We brought the American footy in. I'm starting to get tired of it. It's very tiring. It's fairly deep.
I could hold the water a bit. Oh, fuck off.
I think go under, look. I caught it. It slipped. I'll throw it. And you jump, get a bit of run up maybe.
He's not running.
Okay, steady. Oh, I didn't catch it.
You did? Oh.
You took it into your chest and then dropped it. No. You see it? We've got VAR.
Yeah.
We've got VAR.
No.
It's gonna go there, about 4 or 5 foot in front of the thingy. You ready? Go. Caught that one. Third attempt, big Gary. We've left Lake Bled now, which is unfortunate. I wish we could have spent all day there because it was amazing. The water was nice and warm and the views were amazing. But right now we're at Vingar Gorge because we're going to do a gorge walk that takes, I think, about 45 minutes each way. And Anthony's just throwing rocks at me. To do the Vingar hike you have to wear a helmet because we're walking along bridges and stuff around these noisy rivers. But Vingar actually sits in the Triglav National Park, or just on the edge of it, which is the most protected national park in Slovenia and technically the oldest national park in all of Europe. This gorge and the surrounding area used to all be glaciers. I don't know how long ago, maybe like hundreds of thousands of years ago, before all the ice started melting when the air started to warm. And now it is a gorge with a river flowing through it. It's really good that this is very well protected, but at the same time it'd also be really good to be able to jump in because there's so many proper deep parts running through the gorge where if you could jump off a bridge you'd be perfectly fine. There's two paths on this walk. There's the Alps path, which takes you through the gorge, and then there's the woodland path, which we're on now going back to the entrance. We do get these amazing views of the mountains along the way, but apart from that, it's just like fields and woodland. And there was donkeys too. Thank you. Bye. Today we're in Austria, and the first thing we're going to be doing is going to Hangar 7, which is where all the Red Bull stuff is, like planes, F1 cars and other wild vehicles. Hangar 7 is home to some of the best and most unique vehicles ever created. From the B-25 bomber that was literally used during World War II to the extremely dangerous jetpack strapped to a man. Hangar 7 has it all. This Red Bull Museum is not that far out from Salzburg city, and it's actually right next to the airport, so if you're flying into Salzburg you could come here before going to the city centre, or if you're flying out you could come here before your departing flight. This museum is also 100% free to visit as well. The Red Bull Museum doesn't just have fast jets and F1 cars, it also has some artwork along the walls and some modern art as well. The most random thing in this museum is probably a taxi. There's a yellow cab over there. I have no idea at all what that's got to do with Red Bull. One of the great things about Hangar 7 is that most of the vehicles are still in use, so the exhibits get changed regularly, giving you something new to see every time you visit. The entire architecture of this hangar is really cool. It's like a full glass hangar, and it's even got a rooftop bar thing. It's not actually out on the rooftop, it's indoors, but when it's open it'd be really sick to be up there. Anthony's the F1 guy. No. Tell me about this car, Anthony.
Can't tell you about that one.
What? Tell me about this one.
Can't tell you about that one. It's got 4 wheels.
Well, tell me about that one over there.
It's got 4 wheels. I'll tell you about this one.
Go on, tell me about this one.
I'll tell you about that one.
Anthony's just bought one of these little mini helmets, not the mini ones, but the like big mini ones. €155. It does look cool though, and it is gold and black, it is nice. Let's see. I'm trying to get him in the frame. It's quite cool to be fair. Where are you going to put it?
On my desk or something.
Nice. It's quite cool. Can I feel? Can I touch it?
Yeah.
Did you buy it?
No. Oh, it's really light. Actually.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a bit heavier, but...
Yeah. I imagine because they're just they're just made out of carbon fibre. So it's probably just proper light.
It's got thinking on it as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's bad. The helmet, and he's just got his exact replica as well, so apparently if you could fit your head in it like a mini person, it would protect you if you're in like a little mini crash. Now that we've finished in the museum, we're going to head into Salzburg city centre. We're in Salzburg now. We're just on a little wander through the city. I think we're on the way to Mozart's house, but look across the river here. Look at the fortress behind me. How sick is that fortress? It's absolutely huge. The fortress was built in the 11th century and is actually one of the biggest in all of Europe. We made it to Mozart's house, one of the most famous composers in history. His house is across the road here. I think the full thing might have been his house because he was fairly successful. He was probably quite rich, and you can hear one of his 600 pieces in the Shawshank Redemption. After Mozart's house, we had a little wander through the city streets and stopped for some food, where I got a spaghetti aglio e olio before we headed back to the van and called it a night. This morning we woke up just outside of Salzburg at like a camper van parking spot, and look at these views of the mountains around us. But we've had a bit of a stinker because today is a bank holiday. It's a Thursday, August the 15th, and it's like the day of the ascension of the Virgin Mary to heaven or something like that, so everywhere's closed except restaurants. We were going to spend another day in Salzburg, but instead we're going to head to Vienna and go to the largest thermal spa in all of Austria.
Don't mention that he's in shock on these parts of navigation.
Right, so Jack's driving and he's took a wrong turn, and now we are actually in Germany. Those mountains, that's German mountains. We've just crossed the border into Germany because Jack's took a wrong turn, and he's blaming me for being shotgun, but he's got a sat nav right here. So just a stinker from Jack again.
It never hurts to pop in.
It never hurts to pop in, but it's going to be questionable if there's a border stop and they ask us what we were doing for the 5 minutes that we came into the country for. Look at the length of this queue that we now have to wait in. We've just had to drive past all this, go round and then get in. This is a 2.5 kilometre queue to get back to the border. Are you proud of yourself?
Keep exploring, guys.
What are your thoughts, Anthony?
You win some, you lose some, and
Jack has lost.
in this case we've lost.
We've all lost, but at the hands of Jack. Change of plans, we're not going to the thermal spa tonight. We've just got to the campsite and it's a little bit late. So we're going to do some laundry and just chill. And then tomorrow morning we've booked the spa. We're going to be going in the morning, and then after that we're going to be going into Vienna city centre. Welcome back to What Has Jack Lost This Time, Europe edition. Jack's just ripping the van apart. Trying to find AirPods.
Sorry, who's lost a bottle and the cap? Thank you.
Well, I mean, the cap blew off my head to the wind
Have you
and
got
down
it now?
and down a cliff.
Have you got it right now?
That was out of my hands,
Bottle?
literally.
Bottle?
And I left the bottle in the bathroom, and some stranger took it when I went back to find it. But Jack does keep losing things.
He hasn't actually lost out on
This
this
is-
trip.
That's such a lie!
No, okay,
He hasn't lost out on
not
this trip.
permanently, but he keeps ripping the van apart to find things every night. And that's what is Jack
He hasn't lost
this
something
time.
though, has he? How many things Jack lost?
Nothing so
How many
far.
things have you lost?
But he
How many
misplaces
things have you
things
lost,
and he
Craig?
has to look for things
How many
all
things
the
you lost,
time.
Craig?
I've lost 2 things, but one was not really lost. One
See, the
was,
viewers don't see this.
one was
The
robbed.
viewers don't see this.
They
Well,
see me.
you're robbed of this content.
The viewers seen hat literally blow off my head. Today we have finally made it to Firme Wien, which according to the Austrian tourist board is the largest and most modern spa in all of Europe. But the spa in Bucharest is also meant to be the largest in Europe, so I have no idea who's telling the truth. But we have arrived. We've just got in our first pool now. It's like bathwater, and there's an entrance to go outside. It's like bathwater. It's like bathwater. Why? We're in like a little pool cave thing. Little indoor pool inside the thing.
Mummy, he's filming me again.
What did he say?
Mummy, it's filming me again.
We're gonna try and swim from here to the end there in one breath. And he's going first.
Oh, you got stuff.
Oh no, but we're gonna be hitting each other.
Well,
That's up to you.
You go.
What you want to do?
I want to go first, we're going.
Go on
Go
then.
on then.
I thought we could all do it. It was actually fairly easy to be fair.
That's you out of breath.
Oh yeah, I'm out of breath because I was holding my breath, but it wasn't very challenging.
You got smaller ones.
Maybe. Or probably more efficient ones.
Why?
I'm much better. I have much better stamina.
I'm just boss at everything.
I have much better stamina.
You won a race, Craig?
In a swim race.
You won a swim race?
There's a sprinter, not a sprint, not a marathon.
Just so the viewers know, I won. I beat Craig in a swim race.
I like bled. I like bled. At the spa, they also have a few water slides too, a rubber ring one and a normal one, so that's what we're going on now. Here we go! Oh. Woo! It's so hot in here. Woo! Oh my god! Oh my god! Woo! Oh my god, it's steaming up! Oh. Oh, that was sick, that was so much fun. I was good that way, yeah. It got quite fast in some parts.
Yeah. That's like the last one then. Looks like you're flying.
It was good that way, innit?
Some speed on that.
Yeah, I know, it's quite fast. It's good stuff. Again.
I want more and I want.
It's a Southern reality, by the way, where you stood there with kids.
Yeah, it is quite funny. It's all full of kids like. We've just been walking around trying to find a sauna, and we found the sauna, didn't we, Anthony? But it was a
Yes.
nude-only sauna.
Certainly did.
So, and apparently you get charged €12 when you scan your thing to go in, and we didn't even use it. We came straight back out. Now though, we're gonna go on the diving board. We just found out we can't use the 4-meter one, so we have to use the smallest one. So it's not quite the dive I thought it was gonna be, but here we go, I guess. that? What was that? Anthony, what was that? You just penciled from about a metre high. It is a metre high, you just penciled from a metre high.
I don't have flips in the catalogue.
Well, that was some dive from Anthony down, a little pencil from 1 metre.
From there to the bottom.
Did you touch it now?
No.
This diving pool is so deep, we're trying to swim to the bottom and we can't even touch it. Go on, try Anthony. Nah. Could you? Just dived in from the side, yeah, and I managed to come down to the floor, but now I've got ears full of water, so I can't really hear properly now, so I'm going to have to wait for all the water to just seep out my ears. We just finished in the thermal spa. We managed to get rid of the €12 charge for the naked sauna. Now though, we're going to head into Vienna. We're in Vienna now, but we can't find any parking to save our lives. We're currently parked in like a no parking space. All the parking is underground parking. So we've got a bit of a dilemma. I think we're going to skip Vienna and just head straight to Slovakia and head to Bratislava. We were going to go to the palace and pay parking at the palace, but it's €15 an hour for camper vans at the palace, and then you pay like €32 to get into the palace. So we'd end up paying a fortune to go to a palace that we don't even really want to visit that much, but it's like just one of the most touristy things to do in the city. We've come to the border where Hungary, Slovakia and Austria meet, and they have this table where you've got Austria on that side, Hungary on that side, and I'm sat in Slovakia, which is quite cool. But I don't think this is the actual point where they meet. I think the legit point is that little thing there with the red metal things coming out. I think this is more just like an art piece that people can come and get pictures at, but it's still quite cool, and we got some good pictures here. Now though, we're gonna head into Slovakia and go to the campsite. Nice. Jack just went round the roundabout, took the wrong exit, and now
No, I want clarification now.
Right round.
Blame me for that.
Look, Annie, look where we are. Look where that is. That's right round. Is it not? Because this isn't right round, is it? That's right round.
Right round.
You're near, like...
Well, that hasn't got a thing coming off the...
Yeah, we're not on like a...
That's what I mean, like this road that we're on isn't
Isn't a road, yeah.
Isn't a road on the
But
roundabout,
that
so-
was right round there, the
Yeah,
next
but it was
exit.
close
Well, it was close, I suppose. Today we are in Bratislava, the capital city of Slovakia, and we're on our way to the old town, but we have to go across the bridge to the river. And look what covers the bridge. It's the UFO of Bratislava. We've come to the observation deck on top of the tower, and behind me you can see the suburbs of Bratislava, which are just full of apartment buildings from its communist era. Now on this side we've got the old town over there, and we've got Bratislava Castle over there. This observation deck is only 95 metres high, which is smaller than Radio City Tower in Liverpool. But on a clear day you can see Austria and Hungary apparently, and this is the only capital city that borders two countries. You might look at the Bratislava Castle behind me and think that it looks brand new, and you'd be right in thinking that, because it actually has been rebuilt over the last like 7 decades, because over the last couple hundred years it has been fairly destroyed and it lay in ruins, and around the 50s they decided to start rebuilding it and trying to get it back to its former glory, because this castle was built in like the 9th century, so it's gone through a lot of iterations of different buildings, and they tried to make it look like how the last version of the castle looked. We've come up to the castle now, and it's completely free to enter the grounds of the castle. It's got like a park here, there's cafes and benches that you can just chill at, and there's this little like flower bed section. However, if you want to go in the actual castle, there's a museum and you have to pay to go in there. We've arrived at Paradise National Park and we're doing one of the most popular things there are to do here, the Suchabella Gorge Walk. Now, this gorge walk is very different to the one we done in Slovenia because this is like a little bit more outdoorsy. We have to actually climb things and climb ladders and stuff like that rather than like a nice route being laid out on a wooden platform. This is a bit more adventurous, let's say. See what I mean? Already we're having to walk across like a little wooden bridge like this with no rails or anything. We could just fall. And in the last one we had to use a helmet and there was barriers and stuff. We've got to a much more sketchy part now. We're having to like walk on these little metal things sticking out the rock, hold on to this chain. So this oh, Jack's nearly gone. Maybe comment below who do you think's gonna fall first, me, Jack or Anthony? It's probably gonna be Jack, innit? But
Hold on, don't be thinking in the comments.
Yeah, you can't talk about the comments.
Well, who you think's gonna fall?
Yeah,
Tell
in
us
the comments is 8 o'clock
sleeping.
asleep in on a holiday.
this gorge definitely doesn't look as nice as the one we done in Slovenia, but it is definitely more fun because we got to actually like climb things. And there's a risk of falling, which always makes things more fun. We've now got to the steepest part of the climb so far. We're gonna have to climb up these steps here, which get fairly steep up there. It's more like a ladder than stairs. Is it one at a time?
I feel like it is. There's no time to say it is. What that means is.
Oh, okay. I don't like this.
Like that's steeper up there, Jack. I've started coming up this staircase now, and the steps are very like quite sharp when you stand on them. They dig into your feet. Jack's up. Is there any more up there, Jack? Oh, that's a nice little pro. You could jump into that. We have to climb this ladder now. Oh, there's no rail. Yeah, there's no rail. Getting up here, we have to just hold on to onto the ladder. This is so much more fun than the other gorge, and it's cheaper as well. This gorge costs €4, and it includes all the gorges and waterfalls in this national park, so it's fairly cheap too. Two hands, Andy.
Yeah. No shame here. If the viewers could just take
it doesn't look as steep on camera. That's like a problem we always have, is that like I show you something, it doesn't look as steep on camera as it is in real life. And it's slightly out though because it's metal and we're by a waterfall. I feel like I'm playing Uncharted but in real life, having to climb, or Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider's a good one. Having to climb all these ladders. Oh, it's game over if I drop the GoPro here. There's so much fun. I thought we would be like clipped in, but no, I guess health and safety doesn't exist in Slovakia. I've not got zip pocket, and I've got my phone in my pocket. I really probably should have wore shorter zip pockets for this, because my phone could easily fall out going up a ladder like this. And that is what's below, there's no chance I'd get it. It's a bit shaky up here, like. This is the green route as well. What? This is the green route.
Oh. That can't be
the green route.
It is?
Have we not came off the green route on the level?
I don't think so. I think this is still the green route.
Watch out for that one.
That one?
Yeah, this one might just be going loose, loosey goosey.
Oh! He's coming off the woodworking.
You can do this in the winter as well. Oh yeah, and he said
Oh
that.
yeah, don't mind me.
He said that it's like this is.
Freezing, windy, pissing down.
These are covered in ice, so you're required to wear one of those things you wear on the bottom of your shoes.
Spikes.
Yeah, but what are they called? No, they've got a. No, they've got a name.
Shoe snows.
Oh, quite tight here. It's very tight here. Proper narrow. Yay, more. Another ladder. We got another ladder to go up. I'm not sure. Is this not like one person at a time, Jack?
Oh, is it?
Well, every other one has been.
I'll wait there. I'll wait for the film to be over. Someone that made the silver screen.
Oh no, I'm gonna try that up now.
That's what you said.
Oh,
That's
don't know. I didn't think about that. I think I just bring it up with you, I thought actually yeah, carry it, yeah. I didn't really think through. Hello. Where'd you go, yeah? Off the water.
Very slippy. Oh, I guess there's up the water then. Oh! Hey!
If you haven't commented for Jack to fall first, I'd get the comment in now.
Oh!
And if you also, hello, if you also haven't commented what time, if 9 o'clock getting on a holiday is early or not, could you comment now please? That'd be grand.
I think
8 o'clock, I think it's
8,
no,
yeah.
9. I think the thing's all blurry. Or oh, it's Andy! It's Andy! It's Andy! I think that counts as a fall.
It probably does. And it's very slippy that. What are you meant to do, yeah?
Move yourself up.
Oh yeah, I've got the bag for it, yeah.
What's just fell off then?
You take it up.
Man.
Yeah. Don't rush, Jack. They're just gonna come down here.
What's that bad? What's that bad? What are you doing?
There is old ones.
Oh, you are more blind.
I am going a different way to use, I think.
Why?
Because it looks a little bit
That's boring that way.
better.
Water way.
Why should we go up that way when we have to go up that way?
Didn't use the sides to go that way.
It's the fun way, yeah?
I've got dry shoes, my socks are still dry.
You can do a shit off go that way then.
Boo! Boo!
I mean, this is still slippy. It could be dangerous.
The explorers don't want to see you go that way.
That's so boring.
Your videos us going that way, and now look at you.
I know.
Shit house.
I went round.
Shit house.
My socks are still dry and I want to keep it that way.
Boring.
Yeah.
Boring, mate.
You can call it boring, you can call it smart. Should we continue on?
Boring as the day is
Small
long.
man.
It's all right, Craig.
5, 6.
5.5 viewers.
5, just 5.5. This gorge trail is about 3.7 kilometers long, and I think you climb about 420 meters in elevation. I think it takes about 2 hours to complete, but I'm not sure if that's like 2 hours to just get to the end or if that's 2 hours round trip. I have no idea, but I guess I'll be able to let you know at the end. So we've got to the top. It is 2 hours up, so now we have to hike back down. So it's probably going to be about 3.5 hours in total. We're finally back at the van after nearly 4 hours of hiking. We're absolutely shattered. Now it's time to head towards the direction of Romania, I think, and we need to stop somewhere to get food along the way and find somewhere to stay tonight. This morning we're at Dracula's castle and we're currently in the gardens now. The castle is behind me. We've just left the castle because it was terrible. Inside was good. It had like a lot of stuff to read, but you didn't have time to actually read them because you were just filtered through with the crowd because it's overcrowded in there and you have no time to read things whatsoever.
We need a booking system with time slots to stop the busyness.
Anyway, I'm just gonna give you a voiceover of like inside the castle and tell you some stuff about it.
Bran Castle was built in the 14th century by Saxons after being granted permission by the King of Hungary. Today though, it is known as Dracula's Castle. Was this the home of Dracula? Or is that just a myth to gain tourism? Well, there are two possibilities that it could be. It could either be that this castle is the castle described in the book, or that the inspiration for Dracula actually lived in the castle. So firstly, Bram Stoker, the author, never actually visited Bran Castle, and in fact, he never stepped foot in Romania. So although this castle shares similarities with the castle from the book, that's probably just a coincidence as all castles share similarities. So then, did Dracula's inspiration, Vlad the Impaler, live at Bran? Well, it was once believed that the man who impaled thousands of his enemies was imprisoned here by the Hungarians. However, new evidence shows that wasn't true and he was actually imprisoned in Bucharest. So unfortunately, Dracula's castle is just a tourist myth.
Now that we've finished at Dracula's castle, we're going to head to Ferme, Bucharest, which is supposedly the biggest thermal spa in all of Europe. We have arrived at Ferme, Bucharest, and from here, it doesn't look that big, but it is like 3 complexes in one. It has over 1.5 kilometers worth of water slides. It is huge, so you'll see quite how big it is once we get in. Ferme, Bucharest has 3 separate parts. It has Elysium, which is like the sauna and relaxation part. It has the Palm, which is where all the big pools and palm trees are, and then it has Galaxy, where you can get all the water slides. Currently we're outside of Galaxy, just having a little walk around in the garden area. They also have like a beach area with volleyball. There was volleyball, you know, beach volleyball. Yeah, I did get told off for using the GoPro before in the Palm, so I am going to have to be a bit more sneaky with it. There's loads of different areas outdoors to come and relax. We're in the Feng Shui Park, which is like this little basket weave chairs, like bucket chairs, weaved with, I don't know, whatever this is. And like a rooftop over to shelter us from the sun, although it's not sunny today. They also have like an area where you have to reserve it, and I don't know if you have to pay for it or whether you just have to reserve in advance, but it has no signs to the price.
After doing some hot and cold therapy and even getting to watch TV in a sauna, it was time to hit the water slides.
I'm not meant to have the GoPro on me, but I've got it anyway. Oh my god, this whirlpool. This is sick. This is so cool. Wow, I've never been in a whirlpool, so I had to put on the... Oh my nose. Hey, I was sick with that one.
That was good, that one.
It was. What happened? Yeah, it'll be gas now. Hey, sorry, I was sick. I said that to you. I don't know what that one.
That's him.
2 was going to 1. Oh, that hurt a little bit. Oh, that is a head. Ah, I've got the inside leg. Ah. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm ahead of him. I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm good. I'm good. See you later. Oh god. That's faster than me. I battered you there at the end. You had me at the start. Well, you're at the inside sometimes.
I'm fine.
He had me at the beginning, but I got him at the end. Oh, we need to wait for him.
Yeah.
Coming down with some kid. out on his own. Hey Jack, you won! You won! I know. Yeah, and your ankles as well.
Yeah, my foot was in your lane about 5 times.
I got proper splashed by water coming from your side. Yeah. I beat him, he was ahead for like the first half. And then I managed to just like weave my way through. Oh, it's quite fast. Well, we're in towards it. Quite deep here. On the final, I'm on the final slide now that we're going on. Before we start going on the slide. This is the best one out of the walking. Oh my god, this is backwards, this is not backwards. This is the best thing, all big rollers, this is the biggest. I'm happy today. Oh, I'm outside. I'm outside. This is cool. This Bale slide is more of water park. This slide actually takes you outside, like there's no roof. It's just throwing water. Hello. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect this.
What's this?
I don't know. Well, like a little seated area, like midway through the slide.
Where do we go from here?
I don't know. We're just here now. This is us.
I like it.
I do. So do I. Just sick. I didn't expect to just be like outside in a seated area right now. I think
It's a bit, what's the word, isn't it? It's a bit, well, you're not meant to be here, are you?
yeah, it's just a chill area, I guess. Should we continue on? Let's go. Alright, we're gonna continue on. It does say same position though. Not going very fast. We've been here for a few hours now. We're in the palm area. This is the palm area. This is what you'll see all over Instagram and that. It's getting a little bit less busy now, but it is still fairly chocker in here. Before we get off, we've come to the outdoor Wait, there is a bar behind me. There's also a bar on the inside of this pool. Which is still open, and we've got like little bracelets that you tag to pay for things. They have restaurants and stuff as well, and then you pay on your way out. But it is about 9-10 o'clock now. As you can see, we've got the outdoor lights on and the water fountains, and this is open till 11 and midnight on weekends. We've pulled up for the night now on the side of some busy A road, and it's probably noisy. It's a little bit quiet right now, but it has been awful for the last like hour. But that spot was incredible. We were there for like 5 hours. We did pay for the day pass, but we got there late because of traffic. It was massive. It was like a whole water park and spa in one. But we're gonna go to sleep, and tomorrow we're gonna be heading into Bucharest to do some communist stuff. Today we're in Bucharest, and right behind me is the parliamentary building of Romania, which is the heaviest man-made building in the world and the second biggest parliamentary building in the world. And in front of me is one of the largest boulevards in all of Europe. It's 3.5 kilometers long, and it was built during the socialist era here in Romania. Ceausescu was the president who initiated the building of this in '87, but he never seen it completed because it was completed in the 90s, long after his death. And the architect who built it won the architectural prize through a competition for the best architect with, I guess, design. I'm not sure, but Jack, the historian, is the one who's told me all this. Right now we're outside the Ministry of Interior, which in 1989 is where the Central Committee of the Communist Party sat. This is where in 1989 Ceausescu stood and made his speech in front of an audience that heckled him, which was the start of the Romanian Revolution. Later that day, over 1,000 Romanians would be killed, and 2 days later, on the 23rd of December, him and his wife fled this building after Romanians stormed it, and he flew away in a helicopter before being executed on Christmas Day. He was executed on live television.
After strolling the streets of Bucharest and completing Jack's history tour, we stopped for some food before heading off to Greece.
It's time for us to leave Bucharest now. We only spent about 5 hours there, and it's definitely a city I'll go back to because there seemed like a lot to do and we didn't have much time to do it. Now we're gonna head to Greece. You should see our camp spot for the night. We're right on the coast. We've got this incredible view. We're not at an actual campsite though, so we're not really meant to do it, but there's another van there and the old man said we should be okay. So this is where we're going to stay tonight. Where we stayed last night is probably one of the best places we've stayed the entire trip. We stayed right on the edge of this cliff overlooking the Greek coast. So first things first today, I'm going to be going for a swim. I'm quite far out from the shore now and it's not that deep. The shore's all the way over there and I'm like just above my waist. It is getting deeper like. This water's not as nice as the Croatian water, but it might just be because it's early. It's like 10 AM and in Croatia when we were in the water, I think it was like I think it was about 1 PM, so it was like midday. It was like the hottest time of the day. Oh, there's something over there like seals. Or a dolphin or something. Oh, there's fish jumping on the water and something's trying to get them. I don't know what it is though. I don't know if it's dolphins or seals. They literally just jumped out of the water and I was looking at the camera, so I just caught it in the corner of my eye. They're either dolphins or seals. Hopefully not sharks. Apparently I don't think there's been many shark attacks in Greek waters. So I think we're probably safe, but I'm not sure. There's an island over there as well. I don't know what island it is. That morning sun is quite hot, but it's very breezy with the sea breeze. So coming out the water, it's a bit chilly. Once you're in, it's fine, and once you dry off, it's also very hot. But at least it meant that last night it was quite cool up here.
Whoa! Is that Craig?
Yeah.
Can't there.
I'm getting berated here because I've dropped the last couple of balls.
You going to go away or?
Yeah, I'm going to try and catch you one hand.
He's not taking this seriously, is he? No, he really isn't.
Oh, that is miles away. Playing a little bit of American footy in the sea. Why did you not dive for that? You said you want to dive.
I want to do a check dive. I don't want to do. Not fucking 4 roll at me, 1 mile an hour dive. No one wants that. One. Put the GoPro away.
Well, I'm going to catch you one hand.
Can't even catch a 2 hand.
Oh, it's miles away again.
You need to go.
After spending the afternoon where we camped last night, we've had some dinner and now we're heading along the coast. We're going to go find somewhere to watch the game. It is going to be sad saying goodbye to this view and getting to just like so easily swim in the sea when we wake up, but hopefully we find somewhere just as good. We're currently in Sanfi, which is a town not too far from the coast. I think it's only small and it is absolutely dead. It is a Sunday here, but like there's not a person in sight.
After roaming the deserted streets, we managed to find a place showing the game. And once that was over, the city had woken up.
Second game of the season, another win. Another 2-0 win. We're not blowing teams away, but Still good. Anyway, now we're walking around. We're walking around the town, and it's a lot lively now. It was like a ghost town before, and now there's actually people everywhere.
And
so,
why, Dave?
I think Jack said it's because it's basically people have siestas here, and like to get away from the heat, and also apparently silent cities make better workers or something. Did you say on Google? We've arrived at our campsite and we did not expect it, but like there's a massive party going on. I'm gonna get copyright, so I'm just gonna pause this here. We're gonna walk over and check the party out. We're probably gonna get copyright though. How you feeling about this party, Jack? Probably shattered. How are you, Annie?
Pretty good.
You ready to boogie?
I'm ready to, you know,
Honky tonk.
honky tonk,
As the
yeah,
cowboys
obviously.
say. We walked over to the party, but we think it might be a private party because they've got tables out and waiters and stuff. So we think it is definitely invitation only. So we're just at the beach skipping stones instead.
Look at the right stone as well, Jack. Go quite far after it.
Today we're headed off from the campsite and we're going to go to Thessaloniki, and right now I'm just admiring the coast. I don't know what's better, the Greek coast or Croatian coast. Just look at the views out here. I think the Greek coast might beat it because you've got all the islands in the distance, but I think the Croatian watercolour is much better than the Greek. We've made it to Thessaloniki, but we've been caught in an absolute downpour. We didn't expect it to be raining today, but it is coming down quite a bit. But right here on the waterfront, you do have the White Tower, which is a 16th century tower, which also used to have walls. It was a prison here under Ottoman rule. But the reason it's called the White Tower is apparently a prisoner here, in exchange for his freedom, painted the entire tower white. This isn't great, like my camera isn't weather sealed. I think the lens is, but the camera body is just like maybe rain resistant. Definitely not weather sealed though, like it's not waterproof, so this rain could be a disaster. Well, there's pigeons.
I see that.
And then there's a cat.
I see that.
He's clearly not hungry.
Wild Explorer life has unfortunately been locked out the van. You know, he's hiding because he's being pretty embarrassed here. Where is he, aren't he?
He's on top of the slide door.
No, he's refusing to. Oh, there he is. And anything to say to the cameras, Explorer life?
What?
Anything to say to the cameras?
What?
Anything to say to the cameras?
Any chance?
Is that to the camera? Or?
Any chance?
What's the best thing about being a YouTuber?
Open the door.
What's the best thing about being a YouTuber?
Open the door.
You will conduct this interview and you'll be letting them on. What's the best thing about being a YouTuber?
You can't do that when I drove
What,
forward on you.
what's the best thing about being a YouTuber? Oh, nope. It's not going to happen. What's the best thing about being a YouTuber?
Open the door.
Answer the question, I'll open the door. What's the best thing about being a YouTuber? Thoughts?
On
Situation. Just the situation. Just situation.
Oh,
Daniel.
it's quite fun.
We had a bit of a stinker today with Thessaloniki. We originally wanted to go on like a boat out to sea for the day, but we couldn't because of the rain. So we just went and got churros.
There's a frog.
What do you mean? There's a frog? Is a cat trying to eat the frog?
Not eating it, just like sort of.
We've got a bit of a zoo going on because we've set up camp now. We're at like this camping shop that gives out free parking spaces to camper vans, which is a bit mad, and like water, showers, toilets, everything, all for free. But there's a stray dog and a stray cat here whilst we're having, and I'm not sure the frog's a stray though.
Oh no, frogs strays apart from ones that are pets.
Not sure about that.
What? How?
Because it's just living in the wild, just
So
like
it's a stray,
frogs
so
do.
it doesn't have an owner.
Anyway, we've got a cat here, little kitten. We've got a dog there.
Dog's called Audrey.
Which they weren't here, and then we ordered food, the food came and they just turned up. And we're just like around other people's caravans,
The dog's called Audrey.
getting food from them. Jack's named the dog Audrey.
I haven't quite named it Audrey.
Yes. Anyway, we're gonna eat this, and then tomorrow we're gonna spend half the day here in Greece, and then we have to head back to Bulgaria. This morning we've come to near Plagea Beach, which was only about half an hour from where we stayed last night, and we're hoping to do some paddleboarding, but the sea does look a bit rough today. It's very choppy, it's a bit windy, so we don't know if they're actually going to be renting them out. We might have to just try and get like a boat of some kind. So it doesn't look like we're going to be paddleboarding today. We've just tried to rent some then, and the guy said the weather is too rough today to rent paddleboards. I mean, you can see it is quite rough out there. And then he also said that he's not renting any other things out, like kayaks or anything like that, unless you want an actual like motorboat. We're not going to get anything, so we're just going to have to go and just chill in the sea, play in the sea, maybe play a bit of American football in the sea for a few hours. We did find an inflatable over here that we were going to go on instead of the paddleboard, but that costs €10 per hour, and because of the weather it's also not open. He said we could go on like bits of it, like the outside bits, but not all of it because of the weather, so we're literally just stuck in the sea. And I'm still wearing my top because I don't want to get sunburnt. This sea is proper rough. I'm like trying to balance on a rock. Anthony's out there throwing the ball in, and me and Jacket in. But wait, can I stand up? Oh, I can't stand up. Hey, you can stand up over here. But it's proper rough. I can stand up. No, it's not a rock. It's sand, I think. But I'm getting battered by waves. Bad day to come to the beach there. We're getting proper pushed by this sea here. We started over there by Jack's on back over. I don't mean that. We're over here. It doesn't look like we're getting pushed to the beach now. Just diagonally. We've called it a day after maybe like half an hour, 45 minutes. It wasn't the best day to be at the beach, to be honest with you. We're gonna go back to the van, get changed, and then head off, I think, to some gyros, because we're in Greece, so we can't come to Greece and not get some gyros. After eating easily the best chips and falafel we'd had the entire trip, it was time for us to move on. Thank you. So we've made it back to Bulgaria. We've dropped Anthony off at his hotel, and we're just about half an hour outside of Sofia now. We're camping for the night at a place that again is free, but like they accept donations, so we'll donate to them in the morning. But right now we need to get some sleep. I have no idea what we're actually going to be doing tomorrow. I think we're going to be driving to North Macedonia for our final full day, because we do leave 2 days from now. We've decided we don't have time to go to North Macedonia because we've had to do some washing today, washing all the bed sheets and stuff so that they're dry for tomorrow when we give the van back. So instead we're going to go into Sofia and we're going to do some shooting. We're going to have a little competition between us to see who the better shot is, because we've done shooting twice and we always argue about who the better shooter is. We've just arrived at the shooting place now, and we've agreed that the loser buys dinner later on. We're going to go in and I think we're going to buy about 50 rounds. I think we're going to go for like 25 9mm and then 25 7.62, which is like the AK round. But we'll see what the deal is once we get in there and see if we can maybe like mix and match some of the guns that we have, but I'm not sure. So
you can hold for memory or make picture of this.
Who won? Out of both of us, all together, who won?
Huh?
Who won? Me or him? Who won?
With the revolver, he won.
With all together, all three?
All three, you.
Yes! we're in Sofia city centre now, and we're gonna head to a cafe because Jack does now owe me dinner, so I think we were probably gonna settle it on like a coffee and a cake maybe. We've come to a corgi cafe, which means that there are dogs in the cafe with us. There's 2 corgis, a 9-month-old corgi and a 3.5-year-old corgi, and it's just making me so excited to get home and see Divok, which is my Labrador, and Jack's also got a dog called Colo, which is a jug. Are you excited to go home and see him? That's a 3.5-year-old corgi, and then over there by the gate is the 9-month-old corgi. I've got myself a traditional pancake. It's like a crepe, like a French crepe, and some cream with banana and pistachios. And Jack, he's got himself some fries and a hot dog. Are you okay? You go boy. Oh, you need help. Maybe he needs help to get up. Do you need help? Oh, the one's here now. I think they might need help, you know.
Sure, you can get up.
Wait, did they say you're allowed to feed them?
No.
No? That was such a nice crepe, but I just wish the portion size was bigger because it was only small, and I'm still hungry. Like I could have eaten another one of them. We're back at the campsite we were at last night now, after spending the day in Sofia, but tonight's our final night, so I'm going to end the series here because tomorrow we're going to be packing all our stuff, cleaning the van, and then flying home. I hope you've enjoyed the entire European road trip series. Make sure you smash that like button, comment below what your favourite part of this video was, subscribe if you're not already, and as always, keep exploring.